Hi, my name is Rebecca Roque, author of Unlocking TMJ. After my 6.5, 7-year journey with TMJ chronic pain and being handicapped due to the intense symptoms that I was having and had to quit my job about a year ago. So here's how I got myself out of TMJ. And it comes from hundreds of thousands of dollars and a lot of research and about 40 countries that I traveled to, trying to meet the best experts and asking every single person that I met over the last 7 years what to do. And therefore, really hyper focused on it. So I know a lot about the topic, and I thought I would share how I got myself out of the Handicap for Life club. So number one, if you notice, I am on the last month of my orthodontic treatment. You do not need to go that route. I decided to because I wanted to breathe optimally throughout the day and have zero clenching. And I wanted to look better and live better and have better posture. So I opted for that. But you can do a mouth guard known as a deprogrammer, which will basically relax your masseter muscles while you sleep, keep your airway open, and provide the much needed space and correct occlusion, or at least help you forget your malocclusion. So about 90% of humans have malocclusion, 24% of them have TMJ pain, and 75% of those cases are women. Reason that's women, because we have joint laxity during our hormone childbearing years, which is why you see an epidemic of women with TMJ, but now it's men as well. So an orofacial pain specialist or orthodontist with lots of experience with TMJ. This is not just your avid dentist. Dentists know how to clean teeth. They do not understand. They did not extensively study many more years like an orthodontist the balance, structure, and the closure of the teeth and how that affects the ATM or the TMJ, the temporal mandibular joint. So if you have malocclusion, meaning if my teeth go like this and I'm uncomfortable, I might pull my lower jaw back, thus knocking into my neck and creating this cascading pain. Maybe it could manifest as migraines, but basically there's an imbalance. This doesn't close, so therefore it hurts, right? If something doesn't close, because basically this is the hinge and this is the door, and if the door's off falling or old or warped, the hinge will suffer. Very simple, right? So malocclusion. And also the 1B or part of that cure should be kind of like a physical therapist for a dentist. It's known as a myofunctional therapist. It's a very new arm of dentistry. Not new, but it's kind of marrying them together. And I think you probably learned some of this in the Ayurvedic texts and through yoga, because a lot of it has to do with the breath. But the Indians really focus on the belly, but the myofunctional therapist will teach you how to chew, talk, breathe, and where to hold your tongue. These sound ridiculous, they look ridiculous, but it changes your life. Whenever I experience stress, now suction my tongue to the roof of my mouth, and about 70% of my pain was gone when I started doing that. You breathe better, your anxiety reception goes down, you have more space, your face will look better, aka mewing, Dr. Mew. Dr. Mew is a methodology, not a philosophy. I look at it more advanced, orthotropic breathing, orthodontic arm of myofunctional therapy. Myofunctional therapy is Dr. Mew on steroids. So again, you might have a tongue thrust, a tongue tie, you might have a space between your teeth. These are all indicative of incorrect tongue placement. Tongue needs to be suctioned up. You need to have a wide dental palate. The braces lifts it and allows more air to enter your lungs because you have space for your tongue, and you don't choke on your tongue while you're sleeping, which is what snoring is and sleep apnea. So if you snore and you have TMJ, there's probably a connection there, and you're probably going to get sleep apnea. It's probably going to get worse unless you do myofunctional therapy and orthodontic treatment or wear a mouth guard for the rest of your life. So that's 1B, 1 and 1B. 2 is, I would say, well, I guess that was 2. Number 3, chiropractic and trigger point needling, electrostim therapy. So chiropractic, because forward head posture is comorbid with TMJ, And so therefore your head might be forward. This might be actually causing the TMJ just like altogether, because if I'm going like this all day, there's a lot of pressure and weight on that joint. My head is exponentially heavier because I have poor neck posture. Neck posture could be also caused by the clenching that you're doing at night. If you are clenching at night, you are destabilizing your neck, you're making it very laxed, and then therefore your neck starts to like fall more and more as you do damage throughout the night that you're unaware of and unconscious of. So I think that it's really important to have that very, very pronounced, and not pronounced, but a normal lordosis, no, not lordosis, sorry, kyphosis, whatever the neck is. It's a cervical curvature of the neck. So if you've got military neck and trigger points throughout your neck, you probably have some type of chiropractic issue, right? You need to buy one of these and maybe stretch out your hips so that your neck can kind of relax. Hips and neck, hip and jaw are very much connected. So chiropractic. So you can restore your spine to its optimal position that will improve your digestion, your breathing, and your TMJ imbalances, muscular imbalances. And then also with chiropractic, I put dry needling, trigger point dry needling. So dry needling is basically acupuncture with electric stimulation. So they put the acupuncture needles and then they stimulate the needle with an electric current. This is transformative and erases the computer memory of pain, which is keeping you in this imbalance throughout your body. So it helps erase the computer of your mind as to where the pain was. So the mind memory, if you forget it for a few months, you can do the PT to kind of like put it behind you. But if you just like have this memory of pain, it's really hard to get out of pain because you've had it for so long and your body kind of reverts back into its pain cycle. And then one time I did like full body dry needling, and I could see that the needles go like this, where there's an energy blockage or an issue. And like used to be my whole body was doing this, and now it's just my neck. So now the arc of life, the neck is where I am doing all of my energy, but it's because I fixed my occlusion that I can do step 2, which is physical therapy and chiropractic. So on that tone, chiropractic I put as number 3 / trigger point dry needling. Transformative, number 4, I put as PT. I feel like once you have things in the correct alignment structurally with the bone, you can do physical therapy and massage. You kind of need to massage the muscles, release the tension and then strengthen it. You can just strengthen a tense muscle. It has to be a 5-point approach. These things should idealistically all be done at once, but I think the braces, the mouth guard is the most important thing, and then everything else can follow. And comes to our final point of what I think is causing TMJ is nutrition. So Ayurveda, this is translates to the science of life, a 5,000-year-old text from which yoga, Ayurveda, and yoga, pranayama, which is breath work, and meditation all come from, which are all like extremely trendy and like transforming the Western world now, even though they've been around for 5,000 years. They believe that all illness comes from the gut. So I see a lot of comorbid stomach disorders with people that have TMJ. Why? Because if you are not digesting, if you have acid reflux, if you have IBS, whether it's constipation or the opposite, you have malabsorption of nutrients and you have disturbed sleep because your stomach is struggling to digest the food. So what does that register as? It registers as stress. So it's not just that your job is stressful, it's also the food. The food is not necessarily bad, it's just that you don't have the microbiome to digest it. So if you have an overgrowth, like SIBO, small intestine bacteria overgrowth, whether it be methane or the other one, methane is the one that's associated with constipation. I forgot the other one, but I think it's hydrogen is associated with diarrhea and more frequent bowel movements. You need to go on a cleanse, and you need to do microbiome kill phase over 2 to 3 to 4 months, and then a rebuilding of your biome, a little bit of a reset motility phase in the middle, and then a rebuilding of your biome with all of the microbiome, the probiotics that you lost, the biome that you lost, the bacteria that you lost. Maybe you had a serious car accident and you had to take a lot of antibiotics, or maybe you just were overprescribed for the last 3 decades and you have no biome, or maybe you were drinking a lot of alcohol and cause a lot of damage to your stomach. With those 5 things, I have gotten myself to a much more healthy place, and I have a lot more to say, and I'm writing my second book. If you'd like to purchase my first book or book a coaching call with me, I can save you so much time and money because I did everything wrong, and I want to hear what you're doing with your TMJ, and I can tell you, okay, that is a strand you should pull, or leave that alone, you're unraveling your sweater. And it does take a lot of coaching because there's a lot of psychological aspects to this. I also see a somatic therapist online in India, and it's been helping me tremendously to connect with the emotions and the pain and the different aspects of the body. Mine went from my foot to my face, but I have done really experiential things in order to understand the full connection of the body, and can help you, lead you out of the darkness that the Western world has left us in. It does take years to unlearn all the brainwashing. Some of it's useful, majority is not. So I will talk to you with Eastern and Western informed trauma practice. I'm a yoga therapist and a 15-year educator with a master's degree, so I know how to coach and guide people to see the light quicker, faster, cheaper. And yeah, not only that, it's reclaiming and coming home to yourself. Because if you have TMJ or TMJD, Temporal Mandibular Jaw Disorder, you are clenching because there's something that you want to do that you have not done. Usually people that clench, the emotional aspect in traditional Chinese medicine is that you either have something to say that you are holding on to, biting your tongue, or something you want to do. You're thinking so much about it, but you're not acting on it, which is what the metaphysical, emotional aspect of traditional Chinese medicine would say. TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, would say that that's part symbolically of why this has come to you. There's something that you're not doing. I can approach it from emotional, I can approach it from scientific, I can approach it from both at the same time, whatever you'd like. And I could, Eastern, I'm gonna say it's more emotional and nature-based, which is science. So I hope that helps save your life. It saved mine. If you want more information, I'll link my website below, and I'm happy to chat because there is a lot of therapy. I needed hundreds of people along the way to help me. You won't need as many because you cut out the fat of the other 200 specialists that I saw that were non-efficacious, but you do need support, at least, I think. And you can do it on your own. It'll just be slower. So God bless, good luck, let the universe guide you, let you find your true root cause, let you, through that process, unravel and blossom into the person that you were incarnated on this earth to be.